Okay, everybody, so this is part 3 of making jewelry out of glass, which we started with microscope slides. We cut the glass into the shapes we wanted. After cleaning it well, we matched them up in the sizes that go together, and in the last segment we were putting copper tape around them so that we could now solder them. First of all, you need one of these extra hand things here, okay? Without it, you're gonna, well, even with it, I've been burned. These items are going to be too hot to touch for quite a while after you put the solder on. So you cannot hold them in your hand. You must have something to hold them. You don't want to put them on something that will catch fire. I have actually put the tops, I like to do the outer edges first, with a little teeny piece of paper towel stuffed in there, because the alligator clips mark up, which one of them got marked up anyway, mark up your copper tape, and that makes your soldering less smooth. So my husband also gave me this chunk of magnet. I can barely even move it, okay? So this is, whoa, on the magnet and on this stone, so that I can maneuver, and I have that on a piece of tile, so that I can maneuver this a bit, and I will do my best to stay in the picture, but this is not going to be an easy thing to do, so bear with me as I try. Alright, now I'm going to move this back so we're kind of in the center of the screen here, and get these pieces out of the way. You need a wet sponge. This is jewelry grade soldering, or solder, which has flux in it. Flux is a strange thing. I've never understood why something that looks completely filthy is what cleans something. But you can't do anything of the soldering sort without the flux, and this was sold to me along with this tool, which was directed at women. You know, it's supposed to be for jewelry, and it's 30 volts, and it worked about 2 seconds, and I can't get it, so forget that. I like the solder that they sent me with it. I'm gonna get more of that. It's nice not to have to add the flux, but I am using my husband's soldering tool from his workshop, and it's just a cheap soldering tool, but comes with a much better stand. The stand that came with the one that they sold me as a jewelry item for women to use, well, I duct taped it to the counter. It just didn't get hot enough. So that's the start. You will need a couple other things towards the end, and I did want to mention that I didn't say anything during the glass part. When you have a couple of glasses that match up and you don't want to lose that match, and because you should just cut all at once. And clothespins, I haven't altered any yet, but maybe I should alter some, because I'm keeping my matched up pieces of glass that I'm ready to do projects with on the clothespins before they have their copper tape. Alright, so we're going to get started here. I have no idea why these things work the way they do, and I may be fumbling. And yes, this is a wet sponge. I'm going to be touching it a lot. Go slow. Wear glasses or goggles. This thing right now is just starting to get a silvery tone to it, because I've been working with it and it has solder on it. I think I'm cleaning off the flux. All I know is that until And go slow with this because these little beads come off of it and shoot, and they are lava. And they shoot on you, and boy, you're going to feel it. If it's gray, it doesn't do it. Okay, so I'm melting the flux. I'm sorry, yeah. Melting the solder. And there you go. You want to try to do it in one nice clean sweep if you can, and then you're off to cleaning it again. And all I know is if the tip is black instead of silver, this darn thing doesn't work. And this one is, according to the videos I've watched, because it smokes. This is steam, of course, coming off of the wet sponge, but it smokes when I'm putting the solder on. It's too hot. But his is a 60 watt, and the 30 watt, well, I got burned, okay, because it was not hot enough to melt the solder, and I was pressing on the solder, and that knocked some things over, and I grabbed the wrong item in reaction and ended up burned. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing this fairly well. I will try to get a close-up shot on this next one for you. Again, I'm doing it until I see nice shiny silver. Can even be done. If you go fast though, the little beads pop off, and when they stick in your skin, like I said, it's lava. You don't want to do it. Trust me. Dot on the knuckle. I already did it. Alright, I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. And it's very difficult to get the right direction with your arm, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so making sure that I am seeing a nice shiny clean, and don't hold it on there too long. Sponges catch fire, and this is a good wet sponge, blackened by whatever it is that's coming off, the clean flux already. Okay, so I'm going to just touch this to the solder, and if it's clean enough it will melt. There we go, it's starting to go. There we go. Once I see that silver, trying to hover over it, not press down, just run and try to smoothly come off the edge. There you go, that edge is done. Now, clean off, put your tool in the stand, make sure, and the flux gets, the solder gets hot too. This particular one is kind of cool because it's coiled, and you hold the top, you can pull some out, but make sure it's not hot when you do that. That way you're not holding solder very close. And we're going to make the arm move around, so bear with me for a minute while I turn things around here so that I can do the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to solder the other side of this. Again, clean, nice and slow. Get that shininess. Watching out for that paper towel that I have here. Get the flux going. Sorry, get the solder going. That's the third time I said that. And move it straight along. I think we're going to need a little more here. Alright. Nice straight line. And clean. To the bottom. Yeah, so my husband says I should learn about metals if I want to do this, and I probably should. There's a lot to know. I personally really like the copper, but that's not going to hold up well. I asked him if there is copper solder. He doesn't really know of any. And that would be cool if I could solder in copper. Right now silvery is what you get, and getting a jewelry grade one just lessens the amount of black and gunk that you might be dealing with. Okay, and again, every time you're going to move things, do not touch the item that you are soldering. Be aware that this whole entire rod all the way down the shaft is hot. Put it in the stand and then turn your items. So now I'm going to close off the edges. Okay. Hopefully you're being able to get a better view here. Whoops, clean first. Clean. Make it silver. Make it shiny. Make it shinier. Solder going. And run it along the edge. One movement across is the best, but oop, now we got a problem. Okay. And clean again. Slowly, so you don't have these hot lava beads popping up. Put it down if you have to turn it. Do not touch the item. I'm going to do this side now. You can see me wanting to go right to the item every time, but you must take your time with this. Stay aware at all times where your hands are. Keep your hands inside the ride. Okay. And there it goes. Again, clean. Kind of a pain in the neck, but this stuff just does not work unless you go through this step. Alright, I have maneuvered the arms so that the alligator clip is holding a jump ring, and it's the kind of jump ring that does not have an opening. And I have the top of the item, and it took me a while to get it straight, so I'm not going to touch it. And now we just need to solder the ring onto the pendant. Okay, I'm getting my silver look. I pulled out some solder and goggles on. Well, one more time just for luck here. This is frustrating when it doesn't go well right away, so be patient. If you don't get it, you will. It's there you go. Soldered on. Too much smoke, so they say. And just clean this thing off. Careful again to go slow and think about what you are doing. So excited the jump ring's on. And now you will let your items cool at each spot as well. So every time you do something, you really need to let the item cool. But I do want to begin to talk to you about the last final phase, and I will actually show it to you on this incomplete piece here. There's not too much of it, but the flux, and I do mean flux this time. See if I can see that stuff along the edge. Okay, that's the flux that the solder needs to work, but we don't need to look at it on a nice jewelry piece. And again, this one's not finished, but I'm not touching the other one. So in this jar, because apparently flux cleaner is astronomical, is half alcohol and half nail polish remover. And I actually saw this on some of the techie videos, because they have to clean up the flux from their soldering all the time. And let me zoom in here a little for you. Basically a Q-tip, and again half alcohol and half nail polish remover, and you just rub it on the flux because we want a nice clean glass. Give it a shine with a paper towel, and you may need to spend some time on this. It takes a while. Alright, so it's shining up, and I will have to finish the top of this one and put the ring on. Let me just see. Yep, this is ready to be removed. This one is not cleaned yet, but there is essentially our finished product, and our finished product cleaned and ready to be worn. So that's it, folks. Putting flowers and dried herbs into glass. Microscope slides. Cut the glass using benzene and a glass cutter. Copper tape the edges, always being careful every step of the way. Solder, preferably the kind that has the flux in it. Jewelry grade, a minimum 60 watt soldering iron, and of course I started thinking about these in April when I was coming home every day, running around my yard, cutting the pansies and drying them, which I do have on my playlist on my channel, the Frugal Crafter, how to dry herbs. You can do them the old-fashioned way in the books, but this is essentially 6 months in the making. If you start back at seeds in the middle of the winter, and it's now August, and I am just at the point where I have a piece of jewelry I was picturing all that time ago. So you can see why they're sometimes rather expensive. There's a lot of steps, there's a lot of equipment, there's a little bit of danger. You do have to stay aware. Benzene, rubbing alcohol, and nail polish remover, solder, copper tape, and well, it takes tools, it takes facilities. So I hope you learned something, and maybe you will try this yourself. And if you don't want to do it yourself, well, maybe you could stop at my Etsy store and pick them up. I will be selling them, I think, as separate pendants, and I will probably have a couple of chains, maybe some lace or velvet ribbon. Again, I've started working on some earrings, and if you don't like the ring so that you can use it as a piece of jewelry, you could always just cut it off, and these could be used as mixed media. You know, you could place them on your canvases, you could put them as charms and make some chunky charms with some beautiful little pansies, and their adorable faces. Well, I hope you enjoyed. This is Kathy from Huckleberry Herbs and Art, and I'll leave my info, and you guys all have a great day. Bye for now.